Two wheels in the open road. Got the throttle wide open. Feel my pace. Got 100 horses between my legs. No destination, no end in sight. Just me and the open road, riding into the moonlight. On my two wheels, all that I need is white lines and gasoline. Life in the fast lane, it's easy to maintain. Just twist the throttle on back and feel no pain. From the open highways, backwoods of the country, where live free or die is the only way. On my two wheels, all that I need is white lines and gasoline. Never look back, never look back. 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 White lines and gasoline. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallant
Good evening, race fans. Thank you for tuning in to the All Pro Broadcast Network here this Saturday night. Tonight is the Lugnuts Racing League taking on Michigan in their Saturday Night Silver Crown Series. We want to thank you for joining us out there on YouTube. I'm Dustin Caldwell, and on camera tonight is Michael D'Amico, and we've got 90 laps of Silver Crown race action coming at you here tonight. Drivers are getting ready to go, qualifying to put down 3 of their best lap times here tonight, and looking in the points where we are in the last race of this series here tonight. Matthew Heavener leads the points, followed by Jeffrey Wood and Jeffrey Kachis are your top 3 in points here tonight. Doesn't look like much is separating them as far as point values. Although if we take a look at Matthew Heavener, the average finish in this series has been 6, 7, and 8 are the top 3. So amazingly, these guys have been able to pull off enough points to be up there in the top 3, battling for the championship here tonight. Ray Farlow, the 72 car, we called him the Goliath a few weeks ago back at Iowa, has the fast practice time of a 39.373. Getting ready to put down his qualifying time. Jeffrey Wood, Wes Holland, Maurice Johnston, Matthew Heavener, and Thomas Axum. They are your fast top 5 here as the drivers are setting down their lap time. Taking a look here at the temperatures in Michigan on this race evening here tonight. Mostly cloudy, got 65 degrees in the air, putting the track temperature at about 77 degrees. Guys will be running a 28% fuel limit here tonight. So with 90 laps, that's going to definitely call for a few pit stops here before it's all said and done when the checkered flag falls here in Michigan. Pace car speed is at 70 miles an hour, so when you do see the pace car come out, in the event we have any cautions, they'll be pacing around the track. This Michigan track, which just to let you know, folks, is a 2-mile track, they'll be going around about 70 miles an hour. And these cars can hit close to 200. We'll say about 180 to 200 miles an hour when they're heading around the track. When they got to get into the pits, it's going to be dipping down from about 180 to 55 miles an hour. A lot of speed reduction coming out of turn 3 to be able to not get a black flag for speeding in the pits. Qualifying times have come in. Taking a look, Jason Hughes in that number 58 car. Looks like he's got the fast time so far with a 39.691. Ray Farlow in second in the 72 Silver Crown. He's got a 39.699. And Nick Reynolds out of nowhere, that 54 of bad boy Nick Reynolds is coming in at your fastest time now at 39.683, shuffling the order down just a little bit. The 23 of Donald King in fourth with a 39.706, and the 317 of Alan Matting is your top 5 with a 39.707. Again, folks, this is the Lugnuts Racing League Saturday Night Silver Crowns. If you're interested in more in what they got going on, check them out on Facebook. Just look up Lugnuts Racing. If you're an iRacing driver looking to get into some great league racing, check them out in the league directory. Just look up Lugnuts Racing. They do have a Busch League starting up, as well as Friday Night Street Stocks. They were at USA International last night for some great side-by-side racing there. Put down 70 laps when it was all said and done. Justin Hall came home with the victory. And amazingly, didn't have a front bumper on his car. So he had a radiator exposed at one point and was able to keep it going. And through all the intensity that race put on, he was able to come home with the victory. Been in the top 3 weeks in a row for that number 7 street stock at Justin Hall. Taking a look back at your qualifying times, Nick Reynolds still your fast guy to beat here tonight. You got the 58 of Jason Hughes, the 72 of Ray Farlow, the 13 of Thomas Axum, 23 of Donald King rounding out your top 5. If we take a look in the top 10 now, from 6 to 10, it's Alan Matting, Jeffrey Wood, Wesley Holland, Wreckham West Holland, as we like to call him, Doug Turner. Ralph Wheeler is your 10th man there so far. Got about 30 seconds remaining here in qualifying. To all our viewers out there in YouTube, go ahead and throw out your predictions. Always like to put that across the air. If you think that somebody is going to win here tonight, who do you want? Let's see. Let's put it down here for just a moment as we take a look. Matthew Heavener, Jeff Wood, and Jeffrey Kachis are your top 3 coming in the race tonight. Go ahead and put out your predictions. Who you think out of those 3 is going to finish the highest? Let me know. Like to get the fans engaged here that watch and tune in each and every week. As they see these guys race and they know how they race, they have a chance to possibly predict the outcome of the race here in Michigan. And it looks like 5 seconds till we go to the grid, folks. We'll be going down there and letting you know where your drivers stand here tonight. Doesn't look like we're going to have a change here in the top 10. Drivers now making their way out to the grid here. We'll be going down there in just a moment. Again, you are watching the Loose Lugnuts Racing League Saturday Night Silver Crowns here on YouTube on the All Pro Broadcast Network. And drivers now making their way down to the grid. Let's go down there and take a look at that nice looking paint scheme on your pole sitter here tonight. On the pole, you've got the number 54 of Bad Boy Nick Reynolds. Qualifying time here tonight, 39.683. To his outside, the number 58 of Jason Hughes. There in that nice looking paint scheme on his car. His qualifying time here tonight, 39.691. Starting back in the inside row, the inside lane of the second row, in that DKR Customs number 72 of Ray Farlow. His qualifying time here tonight, 39.699. To his outside in that Goodwrench Service number 13, that is Thomas Axum. His qualifying time here tonight matches that of Ray Farlow with a 39.699. Top 5, third row, inside lane. Taking a look at that Mr. All-Pro royalty man himself, the 23 of Donald King. His qualifying time here tonight, 39.706. To the outside in that 317 Remington car, that is Alan Matting. Looking back in 7th position inside lane, that Glock pistol machine, the number 64 of Jeffrey Wood. That, folks, is one of your guys fighting for the championship here tonight. To his outside, the number 4 MNP car, that is Wreckham West Holland. Looking back in the inside lane, 9th position, the 41 Lennox, that is Doug Turner. Here's your top 10, folks. The black 18 car of Ralph Wheeler rounding out your top 10 here tonight. Taking a look back at the inside lane, position number 11, that 38 Mobile 1, that is Bob Wells. To his outside, you've got the 99 of Matthew Heavener, that snap-on machine. It's the guy leading in the points coming into the race tonight. Taking a look back the inside lane, and that Gravedigger, a nice-looking paint scheme from Mr. number 14 of Robert Mattis. To his outside, we got, Mr. Flames himself over the top. That's the 32 of Billy Wise. Looking back at that Wild Child machine, folks, and he's anything but less than a Wild Child. The 006 of Verlis Falcon, starting 15th here tonight. New guy on the road. It's all about the racing, he says. The number 89 of Tim Campbell. Look at this car. Hook 'em Horns, number 45. That is Joseph Hodge. 322. Oh, man, I'm trying to read the front of that car. Customs. I think it's another DKR Customs car. That's Maurice Johnston. And look at this. AR15.com, the number 5 of John Hendrick, putting down his Red Bull sponsor here tonight and picking up an AR-15. Go get him there, Tiger. Got the 63 of Jeffrey Cautious going to be putting on the sauce on the bread here tonight in that 63 mayonnaise. Hellman's mayonnaise here tonight. Taking a look at Dick Van Wyman in the 70, and rounding out your field here tonight is that Magpul number 90 of Travis Zudema. We got 90 laps of great racing action coming at you here tonight. Pace car bringing them into turns 3 and 4. It's going to be Nick Reynolds, Jason Hughes up front, as they were your fast qualifiers here tonight. Here we go, coming out of turn 4, down the front stretch. Pace car set to go in. There it goes, into the pits. The flagman brings out the flag, ready to throw it for the green, and it's in the air. Green flag flies. We're off to the races here in Michigan for 90 laps of Silver Crown racing here tonight. Already you see Nick Reynolds in that 54 making his way up to the high groove, fending off the 58 and 72. The 58 of Jason Hughes, the 72 of Ray Farlow. Don King right there to the inside lane. Thomas Axum in the 13 up high. Here they come out of turn 2 into the back straightaway, making their way down. You can see the 54 of Nick Reynolds still leading everybody, leaving the 13 of Axum high as they all go low. The 72 of Ray Farlow now in second. Right behind him, you have the 58 of Jason Hughes. And the 23 of Donald King now is going to edge out the 13 of Axum. Whoa, a little bit of flip-flop action. Here they come down the front stretch, completing the first lap, and it's a tight battle between Don King and Thomas Axum. As you're now seeing them making their way down towards turn number 1. Axum's running that middle groove, amazingly not losing much off the pace. And Donald King down there has a few guys right there with him. The 317 of Alan Madding, the 64 of Jeffrey Wood. Making their way down the back straightaway. Here comes Ray Farlow challenging the 54 of Nick Reynolds for the lead. He's up in that middle groove. Turns 3 and 4. Here they come. Jason Hughes down low. Contact between Hughes and Farlow. I think Farlow thought he had the lower groove but did not have it. Now we got some more contact with Donald King. My goodness. These guys have come to race here tonight. Farlow bullying his way down to that lower groove. Didn't think he got the clear from the spotter. And boy, Hughes had to go below the yellow line into the apron to survive there, else it would have been good night for the 58. Here they come down the back straightaway, folks. Lap number 3. 72 of Ray Farlow right there behind the 58 of Nick Reynolds. The 13 of Thomas Axum up high. The 58 of Jason Hughes right down low. You see the 23 of Donald King there. And the 317 of Alan Madding making his way out of turn number 4, coming down the front stretch. Amazingly, folks, take a look at Thomas Axum up there in the middle groove. You see Don King now trying to get some side draft off the 58 of Jason Hughes. And he's going to give a little bit of arrow push to the 13. Heading into turns 1 and 2. Coming out of turn 2, they're going to see if they can slingshot and maybe gain some ground on the 72 of Ray Farlow. Oh, they got really close there. The 58 of Jason Hughes nearly getting into the back left tire of Don King. Here they come into turn number 3. Great side-by-side racing action for the top 6 positions here tonight, folks. Out of turn number 4, here they come. Little weave in between the cars. Oh, we got some contact. Alan Madding goes below the apron as it looks like he got into Wes Holland, possibly. Wes Holland now up there high in that 317 machine. Or excuse me, Alan Madding up there high in the 317 machine. Wes Holland, the number 4, is going to have to fall back just a little bit, losing a few spots there after contact was made. But look at this up front now. There's your draft push from the 23 of Donald King, trying to give the 13 of Thomas Axum enough momentum to clear your race leader, but it's not going to happen as Nick Reynolds now back up to your race lead, coming out in turn 4. Down the front stretch they come. And it's a good side-by-side battle first between the 54 of Nick Reynolds and the 13 of Thomas Axum, heading towards turn number 1. We're on lap number 6 here tonight. These guys are battling hard as you see the 72 Ray Farlow right beside the 23 of Donald King. And Jason Hughes now to the inside, trying to gain some positions. He's credited with the top 5 here so far. And now you see the 4 of Wes Holland creeping up on the 317 of Alan Madding. Not too happy with the way they had some contacts just a lap ago. Alan Madding in that Rivington car trying to hold off the number 4, the number 38, as he gains on the 58 coming into turn number 1 and 2. 38 of Bob Wells is the inside lane. Here comes the 317 of Alan Madding now surpassing the 58 as he's got a little bit of draft push from the 4 of Wes Holland. Thomas Axum up there in the race lead, battling side by side with that U.S. Air Force number 54 of Nick Reynolds. Got a little tiger mouth or shark mouth on the side of it like a old fighter pilot there. That's why they call him the bad boy. Down there in the low groove, here they come, folks. Into turns 1 and 2. Look at the side-by-side battle between the 54 of Nick Reynolds and that good wrench number 13 of Thomas Axum. Don King right there behind him trying to provide some momentum shift for the 13 of Axum. And here they come down the back straightaway. Will Axum have enough momentum from the 23 of Don King? Farlow now creeping up to the back of Nick Reynolds. And Axum not going to go low as he's going to lose out into the turns yet again to the 54 of Nick Reynolds. Look at this side-by-side racing all the way back to 10th position. As we take a look at Ralph Wheeler back there in 10th position, you can still see behind him as we got some more side-by-side battling going on there as well as all the guys up there in front of him. My goodness, they are racing hard here in the first 10 laps of the race here tonight. As you see Nick Reynolds making his way into the back straightaway, still side by side with the 13 of Axum, 23 of Don King up high, side by side with the 72 of Ray Farlow, and that Remington 317 of Alan Manning gonna get really close, possibly has some contact there again with the Wreckham West Holland number 4 car as they're coming down the front stretch towards the start finish line. Looking over into lap number 10 here now. The 58 of Jason Hughes down low. Oh, and Alan Manning wants to take that low groove, but definitely gave some birth to the 58 as he might have put him down below the apron yet again. Then the second time there for the 58 here tonight. Guys are just making their way down the back straightaway. Axum now going to be credited with the lead there as he edges out the 54, but here comes Nick Reynolds in that lower groove. When will the 13 learn that, it's great to have that high groove, but he's going to lose momentum in the turns every single time. Here they come across the start finish into lap number 11, the 54 of Nick Reynolds. Might have been deemed credited with the lead there on that. As Ray Farlow, whoa, really close getting into the bumper there. The back left tire, or right tire I should say, of Don King has to check up high. Alan Manning right there behind Ray Farlow creeping up on him as the 58 creeps up on the 23. As Jason Hughes moving towards Donald King in turns 3 and 4. Oh, and we got a little bit of looseness out of Hughes. Tires are starting to wear down a little bit, folks. 2 mile track at 28% fuel. Where's our pit window going to be here tonight? And it looks like we got a person, Michelle, out there. Eisenhower giving a shout out to Don King as she wants him to win here tonight. Big shout outs for the number 23. Thomas Axum now decides to take the lower groove. Finally learns from a few laps worth of battling as he's going to be behind the faster 54 of bad boy Nick Reynolds. Down low, Don King will be providing some draft help to the 54 and moving that train along as they're coming across. Oh, we got some contact made, and some cars go spinning, and our first caution's going to fly here on lap number 13. Wow, was that a good battle or what? As we take a look to see possibly where the accident happened here tonight. Looked like it might have been with good old Wreckham West Holland, folks. We reel up the replay cam for you. The number 4 West Holland, you're going to see him coming out of turns 3 and 4. They make their way down. Alan Manning, looks like it's going to be called a netcode issue as there was no really definitive contact. Looks like West Holland just netcodes the 317, going to send Alan Manning up into the wall. Wow, did these guys go for a ride? My goodness. I think the 317 of Alan Manning is going to get the worst of it. He's going to get carried down the field more and more. It looks like, as we take a look here, I believe that's the 70. Looks like the 70 of Doug Van Wyman's going to arc a brake. 317 Remington machine of Alan Manning at the last bit moment. Tough break there for these guys here in the first 14 or 13 laps of the race here tonight. But Thomas Axum, top 5 as it stands, folks. Thomas Axum, your race leader. Followed by the 54 of Nick Reynolds, the 72 of Ray Farlow, the 23 of Don King, and the 58 of Jason Hughes will be your top 5 as it stands. Go ahead and see if we could get good old Alan on the line here, maybe give us some perspective from that. Alan Manning, this is Dustin Caldwell in the booth. Are you there?
I'm here.
Well, I'm going to interview you here, and I know you say I've been called bad luck for interviewing you, but I think it's going to be reverse good luck because I'm interviewing you after the incident here tonight. But looks like you had a little bit of netcode contact with the 4 of Wreckham West Holland. Tell us a little bit about your expectations coming into the race here tonight when you've seen these Silver Crown cars at Michigan. It's a 2-mile track. How did the car handle in practice and in qualifying?
Car felt fantastic in qualifying and practice. Reminds me a lot of the Silver Crown race that I won last season at Atlanta. It's fast down on the bottom, it runs well in the second groove, but you can drive it anywhere on the track. You can take it up against the wall, consistent all the way through a fuel load. So, it's an ideal car to drive. Just kind of twitchy when you're side by side. No idea what really happened there. Netcode may be a good guess. Wes and I have been drafting together, running real well side by side and everything else, and just all of a sudden we were both turned and both kind of scratching our heads.
Well, when you choose a draft partner with the name Wreckham, they call him Wreckham West Holland, you get kind of nervous. I don't know. I love to tease the guy. Actually, he's a pretty good driver. I just love to tease him about it. But as far as getting into the pits, you're able to get your fast repair and get back out on the track?
Yeah, kind of had to crab crawl it in. The steering was messed up really bad. He was trying to go for the wall, so it was like driving with jello for steering, but got it in, got it fixed. We'll see what we can do from here.
All right. Well, best of luck to you in the remainder of the race. Appreciate your time, Alan.
Appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate what y'all are doing for us.
Thank you much. There you have it, folks. The 317 of Alan Matting involved in the first caution here, and it's going to be lap number 13. They didn't quite make it across the start-finish line, so we'll deem it as lap number 12, bringing out the first caution here tonight between the contact of the number 4 of Wes Holland and the 317 of Alan Madden. Taking a look at the pace car, bringing them around the track in turns 3 and 4, you can see the 13 of Thomas Axum out there. But for how long, as we've seen 72 of Ray Farlow and the 54 of Nick Reynolds definitely look like they have the faster cars, although give credit to the 13, he's able to maintain that middle groove in the track up a little bit higher than the rest of them, as the lower groove looks like it's definitely winning the turns as far as edging out the guys in the middle groove, but once they get to the back straightaway, it looks like it's good side-by-side racing. Pace car bringing around across the start-finish line. We're going to be set to go green on lap number 17 here tonight. We're going to go ahead and give you a little bit of cam action of these drivers as they're going to make their final pace lap around. Go ahead and turn up your volume and get the sound of these Silver Crowns making their way around the track. Great sounds there. Cameras brought to you by Ryan Eckstein. Always some great work that gentleman does. As we're taking a look heading into turns 3 and 4, they'll have Thomas Axum of Ray Farlow up there. We've had 3 lead changes here tonight, 1 caution, and 15, soon to be 16 laps put down once we go back green. Definitely some hard racing out here tonight. Thomas Axum's led 10 laps of the race. Here he goes. And wow, does he explode away from the rest of the field. Once the pace car's in, knowing that he has the slower car, he's trying to give himself a cushion there between the 54 of Nick Reynolds and the 72 of Ray Farlow chasing him there into turn number 1. They do have the faster cars. It's only a matter of time. Reynolds gets onto the apron, spins out a little bit, gets loose a little bit. As you're seeing the 72 of Ray Farlow to the inside of the 54. And look at him chase down that 13 of Axum, the 72 of Ray Farlow. Oh, he has to dive it down. Wow. Thomas Axum diving it down. Jason Hughes now, dangerously close to the 54 of Nick Reynolds. Wow, Nick Reynolds trying to keep that side draft on the 72 of Ray Farlow as they maintain close distances. Some connection issues there with the 58 of Jason Hughes. Here they head into turn number 1, the 13 of Axum. Had to dive it. Whoa! Some contact made there with Ray Farlow, and wow, do we see some smoke coming out of the back of the 54 of Nick Reynolds, cooking a little bit of those tires, but look at him go. Almost would consider that the Air Force car number 54 had a turbo prop. gave himself a boost heading down that back straightaway as he's now side by side with the 13 of Axum up high. Well, Ray Farlow goes high. He wants to get up there with them, and the 58 of Jason Hughes had to go way high to avoid any major contact with the 72. Nick Reynolds, here he is, your bad boy, ladies and gentlemen. I can hear the ladies wooing in the audience as they see Nick Reynolds take the lead yet here again tonight for our fourth lead change of the race. Side by side goes the 58 of Jason Hughes, and the 13 of Thomas Axon's now has no help. He's going to lose out just a little bit as they head towards turn number 3, and look who's back there in fourth, folks. Call him Mr. Gravedigger. The 14 of Robert Mattis is up there in third now. Here comes the 23 of Donald King. And I tell you what, they're making their way here on lap number 20 as they cross the start-finish line. Nick Reynolds, Jason Hughes side by side into turn 1, and look at Robert Mattis, almost wants to make it 3 wide, but he's going to lose out a little bit and settle in as he gains some positioning. Here they come into the back straightaway, still side by side for the race lead. What a race it is here tonight, folks. Now Nick Reynolds not having any help as the draft train's up high. And he's Joel, but being down in the low, that's where he's able to keep it, folks, as you see. Oh, contact me! Contact me! The 58 of Jason Hughes? Wow! And Jason Hughes is going to lose out really quick. Oh, my goodness. Tough break for the 58 of Jason Hughes as he's going to go spinning around. We'll have to reel up that replay cam for you. You're going to see that Jason Hughes is involved with some contact coming out of turn 4 right there with Nick Reynolds, and he's going to go spinning. He was to the high side, just got down into Nick Reynolds, got down the apron, tried to save it. He's going to hit the 13 of Axum, and wow, all these cars are going to go flying up into the catch fence and around. My goodness, that's going to bring out our second caution here tonight. Tough break for the 58 of Jason Hughes, and he takes a wicked ride inside the grass and spins around, but amazingly will have some minor repairs compared to the other drivers out there on the track. Well, folks, we are 20 laps into this 90-lap endeavor here tonight. We do thank you for tuning into the All-Pro Broadcast Network. We're going to move to a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll have a lot more Silver Crown race action coming at you, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back to Michigan on this lovely Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning into the All Pro Broadcast Network out here on YouTube. 20 laps is what we put down before we had our second caution here tonight, and 20 laps looks like it's the pit window so far, as these guys are running 28% fuel in these Silver Crown cars here tonight. And if you're just tuning in, we are coming off of a caution between the 58 of Jason Hughes and the 54 of Nick Reynolds, making contact out of turn number 4, piling a lot of the cars up, sending us into our second caution here tonight. Some of the summary for you, just if you're interested in what we had going on. We've had 5 lead changes in the first 22 laps here tonight, and we've just had a couple of cautions. Some of the drivers that have been deemed with the lead, as you see the 006 of Verlis Falcons here tonight, has been credited with 3 laps led, 8 laps for Nick Reynolds in that 54 machine, 12 laps for Thomas Axum, who was also wrapped up in that last caution here tonight. Lights have come off the pace car. We're going to be set to go green on lap number 25. Again, this is 90 laps here tonight. This is the last race of the Silver Crown Series for the Loose Lugnuts season here. I'm sure they're going to have some more great seasons coming up. They do have a Friday night street stock series as well as a Bush League, from what I heard, is starting up. If you are an iRacer out there and you want to get in some great racing action, definitely check these guys out. Just look up Loose Lugnuts Racing League in the league directory. And if you're just wanting to know more about these guys and who they are and what they do, you can look up Over the Top Paints and Designs as well as Loose Lugnuts out on Facebook to see all the great things that these guys do, especially for trading paints and putting on some great racing as we've seen here tonight. Pace car set to come out of the back straightaway, bringing them into turn number 3. It's going to be the 006 of Verlis Falcons, Doug Turner, to the outside in that 41 machine. Will be setting the pace. You can see the 99 of Heavener's now up there. Heavener leading the league in points, and we got an incident here on the pace lap, I believe.
Not going green. Not going green.
Incidents going on here. Not exactly. Do not know who exactly was involved. I know Billy Wise was involved. We're going to have to reel up the replay for you here. Looked like there was some checkup action coming into turn 4. We're looking at the 32 of Billy Wise. He's going to get in the rear end of the 72 of Ray Farlow and just gets popcorned around between him and the 89 of Tim Campbell. Then goes up high, and he's going to collect. Trying to look and see who that is. It might be 63 there, folks, of Jeffrey Kochis in that Hellman's car. Alan Matting says, I don't want no part of it. He just turns right to collide as he goes up towards the wall. Alan Matting goes into the wall, and Jason Hughes is going to slam on his brakes to avoid contact. I think he's got some nerves here tonight in this final race of the series, folks. Drivers are just trying to work it out, so the lights are off the pace car. We'll try it again here. Set to go green on lap number 26. It'll be Verlis Falcons and Doug Turner, Matthew Heavener, and Nick Reynolds now to the outside in that 54 Air Force machine. Making our way into turns 3 and 4. Problem when they don't bunch up like they should, folks. You get a little bit of checkup action. Here comes the 41 of Doug Turner trying to anticipate what Verlis Falcons is going to do down low. Pace car into the pits, and here we go. Some checkup. Nick Reynolds is ready to go, but Doug Turner holding up the 54, and there goes Verlis Falcons across the start finish line. Matthew Heavener right there with him, heading towards turn number 1. Robert Mattis now in that Gravedigger machine up there behind Doug Turner as he's able to get underneath the 54 of Nick Reynolds. Here they come into turns 1 and 2. Nick Reynolds making his way in the back straightaway, going to go high with the 41 of Doug Turner, leaving poor old Robert Mattis in that 14 machine down low, but he's got the momentum down there. And heading into the turn, Nick Reynolds has got to go low if he wants to keep the momentum going for that car. Look at him go. Look at him get the run. Here comes the 72 of Ray Farlow on the rear of the 54 of Nick Reynolds. These guys using the apron just a little bit. Again, folks, the white line does not disqualify if they go down on the apron, trying to keep their tires cooler and keep the grip grip wear down on their tires. So keep that in mind if you see that here tonight. That is a rule that the white line does allow passing to happen. The yellow line is where they cannot pass. And almost contact between Fearless Falcons and Matthew Heavener as they're side-by-side heading towards turn number 3. The 99 of Heavener might want to get low if he wants to keep that momentum. As he does, he goes down back to the low-middle groove as he's now side-by-side with the 41 of Doug Turner. And as you can see, the Fearless Falcons 006 using that apron to his advantage to get some more speed. And look at Nick Reynolds, bad boy Nick Reynolds through the field. Oh my gosh, coming through the field 3 wide, and he just like a bully in a classroom hall or school hallway. He bullies his way through that field, pushing and shoving. And now he's in front of the 99 of Heavener. Right behind Heavener is the 14 Gravedigger of Robert Mattis. Look at these guys battling up front, 3 wide almost, heading into turns 3 and 4. Nick Reynolds definitely has the fast car here tonight as we see him just climb through that field. What a run he had. Contact made between the 41 of Doug Turner and the 99 of Matthew Heavener. These guys are battling hard heading towards turn number 1. And you can see there the 54 of Nick Reynolds wants to get the lead back here tonight as he's making his way out of turn number 2, coming down the back straightaway. And Nick Reynolds looks like he's going to be credited with the lead if he can hold on to the start-finish line. As Fearless Falcons now is going to lose a little bit of momentum, but here they go into turn 3 side by side. They are making their way around. Look at this, coming out of turn number 4, the 006 of Fearless Falcons, your race leader here tonight. And if he's able to beat, which he will, across the start-finish line, will be credited with 9 laps led here tonight. Side-by-side racing into turn 1. Oh, Heavener has to go high as he almost got into the bumper there of the 54 of Nick Reynolds. The 41 of Doug Turner there making his way low with the 72 of Ray Farlow right behind him trying to catch up. Robert Mattis able to miss the 99 of Heavener going high. Don King now back up there towards the top 5 as he's side-by-side with Heavener up high. Here they come out of turn 4 down the front stretch. I lost my word on that one. Coming across the front stretch at top 5 as it stands. Very close battle for the top 5 to 7 positions. Fearless Falcons, Nick Reynolds, Doug Turner, Robert Mattis, and Ray Farlow are your top 5. But look at these guys right there, folks. They are just screaming down this track at over 180 miles an hour, side by side. Testament to the great job that this league puts on here, folks, especially in Silver Crown cars. This is the premier Silver Crown series in iRacing today, other than the actual official races that they put on. Not many leagues run these cars. You can consider them to be glorified go-karts, but they are very fun to drive. It takes a little bit of skill to put these cars down at 180 miles around a 2-mile track, but they are fun to drive to say the least. Looking back up at your race leader, Fearless Falcons. Oh, Nick Reynolds. Looks like he's going to get a little bit of a netcode push. There's Robert Mattis on the rear of the 54. Fearless Falcons pushes away the 54 to keep the lead. Here they come into turns 3 and 4. That Wild Child 006 of Fearless Falcons, still your race leader. But Nick Reynolds is not going quietly. Up high is Don King taking a look back there in 5th position, coming across the start-finish line. Don King up there, right there behind the 13 of Axum. Thomas Axum now making his way back up into the top 6 as he was involved in that second caution early on that pushed him back through the field a little bit. Started 4th on the grid here tonight. He's currently sitting in 6th. Fearless Falcons, folks, just to let you know, started 15th here tonight on the grid and has made his way up to the race lead here on lap number 33, soon to be lap 34 when they cross the start-finish line. Side by side they come down the front stretch in towards turn number 1. Ray Farlow in the 3rd position now here tonight. Started 3rd, he's sitting in 3rd. Doug Turner down low between the 72. And there's the 14 of Robert Mattis, Gravedigger machine, coming out of turn 2 into the back straightaway they go. Still side-by-side racing. Taking a look back in 8th position, the 99 of Matthew Heavener, who fell out just a few laps up high as he was looking at possible contact with Doug Turner. is now sitting back in 8th position quietly. 3 wide, though, with Axum and Don King as they're coming down to turn 4 down the front stretch. Axum looks like he's having some issues with his car as he continues to fall back through the field into 10th position now. Looks like he might have lost some grip wear and cooked the tires in the turns, diving a little too deep, and thus far is paying the price with slicker tires, and he has to slow up the throttle just a little bit, and that's what these cars are, folks. These Silver Crown cars, as we're watching them battle towards turn number 3 up front with Nick Reynolds and Fearless Falcons, it comes down to throttle control, as these guys are only getting 2 gears in these cars. They're not your typical transmissions that you would have in a truck or in a B car or in a Gen 6 car that you see. These are straight 2 gears that these guys get. So it comes down to a lot of throttle control heading into the corners. And look, we almost had 3 wide heading into turn 1 and 2. Coming out of turn 2 in the back straightaway, the 54 of Nick Reynolds using that wall is getting net coated just a little bit from the 72 of Ray Farlow as you see him wiggle. Ray Farlow wants to provide some momentum help, and he does for the 54 of Nick Reynolds. Will he go low and take away Fearless Falcons? No. Oh, and the 4 of Wreckham West Holland into the bumper of Fearless Falcons, who pushes him down across pit lane. Oh my gosh, Fearless Falcons. Tough break for the 006 as he's now frustrated on pit lane. West Holland just gave him a nice shove and sent him down at 180 miles down pit lane. I hope race control is able to get his black flag cleared there. That was unfair to the 006 to be thrown down pit lane. As we see him make his way to his pit box, he is not happy at all in that Wild Child's 006 machine. Taking back a look here on lap number 37 up at your race lead. It's a good battle between the 54 of Nick Reynolds and the 72 of Ray Farlow. If I was Nick Reynolds, I'd be nervous from that 4 machine running down my tail as Wes Holland is right there on him. Contact me! Oh, contact between Farlow and Reynolds. But amazingly, these drivers are able to hold out, and who goes flying back? That's right, it's the 4 of Wes Holland. He's going to go falling back as they come down the back straightaway towards turn number 3. Ray Farlow, though, able to maintain composure and keep the race lead here tonight. Wow. Tough contact, but Nick Reynolds is going to lose 2 positions out of it as they make their way down the front stretch towards the start-finish line. And we have now 6 lead changes in the race here tonight in the first 38 laps of the race. Ray Farlow going to be your leader heading into turns 1 and 2. Look at Nick Reynolds coming, trying to make a 3 wide between the 14 of Robert Mattis and the 72 of Ray Farlow. A little bit of push down the back straightaway. Don King on the bumper of Nick Reynolds as they head in towards turn number 3. And Mattis going down low to take the race lead away from the 72 of Ray Farlow. And once again, the 54 and the 72 are side by side coming out of turn 4 into the front stretch. Don King providing a little bit of help with Nick Reynolds up high. These 2 guys are all pro guys. They're racing it out up high, trying to provide some partnership. You got the 13 of Thomas Axum now back up there in the top 5. Down low there is the 64 of Jeffrey Wood, who we haven't had much to talk about, even though he's battling for a potential win here in the series tonight. Here they come down the back straightaway towards turn number 3 now, folks. We're on lap number 40. And Nick Reynolds is back up to your race lead as he assumes the lower groove with the help of, I believe that's the 23 of Don King. We'll see once they get across the start-finish line. Everything gets bejarbled up. Don King now right there behind the 54 of Nick Reynolds, Robert Mattis, and Thomas Axum side by side for 3rd, and the 72 of Ray Farlow back there in 5th position. What a battle it has been, folks. 50 laps to go in the race here tonight. This is a 90-lap race event. Final race of this Silver Crown Series on Saturday nights, brought to you by the Loose Lugnuts Racing League. We do thank you for tuning into the All-Pro Broadcast Network here. We are going to move to a short commercial break, but we got some more race action for you coming at you, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 47 laps to go in the race here tonight. Thanks for tuning into the All Pro Broadcast Network. If you're just tuning in, what a race it's been up until this point here tonight. We've had two cautions and 9 lead changes in the first 43 laps of the race here tonight. Nick Reynolds, your race leader. Let's give you a top 5 rundown as it stands. Nick Reynolds is up there with Don King. And looks like now Nick Reynolds is going to go into the pits here. Don King making his way into the pits. Oh, it's a good battle down pit road. Don King going to make it into the pits first. As the 13 of Axum makes his way into the pit road. Nick Reynolds and the 64 of Jeffrey Wood make their way into the pits. Coming down pit road comes the 99 of Heavener. Some controversy here tonight, folks, for the 006 of Bearless Falcons. Tough break there for that machine. He was thrown down the pit road by none other than the number 4 of Wreckham West Holland. Let's see if we can get Bearless on the line here and get his idea of what may have happened. Bearless, are you there?
Yes.
So, a tough break there for the 006. Our condolences up here in the booth as we've seen Wreckham West Holland strikes again, and he throws you down pit lane. Imagine you would have gotten a black flag for speeding into pits. Is that confirmed?
Yeah, I come in a little too hot, and that's my Achilles heel pit entrance and speeding in the pits. So I want to make sure I didn't speed.
Yeah,
we'll get back up there.
Tough break there, but you are going to be back out on the track, you say?
Yeah. It's a good race.
Definitely is here tonight. I want to wish you the best of luck getting back out there on the track here tonight, bud.
10-4, appreciate it.
There you have it, folks. He says he went down speeding down pit road, but I think he had a little helping hand from the number 4 of West Holland, shoving him down pit road, getting him that speeding penalty. It was a tough break there, and he ended up sliding around the pits for just a little bit, but he will be bringing it back onto the track, so good to hear from the 006 of Bearless Falcons after that incident of about 10 laps ago. As race control gets everything jumbled up and the pit stops have completed here, taking a look, West Holland looks like he's going to be here. West Holland up in the lead, the 23 of Donald King in second, the 72 of Ray Farlow, the 64 of Jeffrey Wood, and the 13 of Thomas Axum in fifth. Making our way into turn 4, West Holland still uncontested up high. Got about a 2.3 second gap between him and Don King, who's back there in second. 43 laps to go in the race here tonight. 72 of Ray Farlow chasing down the 23 of Don King. As they make their way into the back straightaway, here they come. Don King goes high, following the contour of the track towards the wall. 72 of Ray Farlow just cruising on through towards turn number 3. Don King's not going to be able to come back low as he would like. Right there beside Don King now is the 64 of Jeffrey Wood. Look at this battle going on here with the 58 of Jason Hughes, who's not actually testing for the lead here. He's back there in 18th position, 1 lap down. Not really in the lucky dog position he is in the lucky dog position. I do apologize on that, as he's right there behind your race leader of West Holland. West Holland looking at the points here tonight, folks, is in 9th coming into the points. They're coming into the race tonight. He was 9th back in points. I'm not sure that this win would give him the actual victory of the series, but right now he has been credited for the last 5 laps of leading the race here tonight. 21 to go in this 90-lap event here this evening at Michigan. Again, tonight with West Holland taking the lead, we've had 10 lead changes here in the first 49 laps. Top 5, we'll give you the top 5. Wes Holland, Ray Farlow. Got Jeff Wood, Don King, and Thomas Axum now are your top 5. And as you can tell, those pit strategies have come around. Jason Hughes on that bumper of the 4 of West Holland. Maybe trying to extend the gap a little bit between him and Don King and Jeff Wood. But Jeff Wood back there in second, the 64 of Jeffrey Wood now in front of the 23 of Don King. They're about almost 1 to 2 seconds off your race leader as they're making their way towards turn number 3 now. 72 of Ray Farlow back there in 4th. Thomas Axum behind them. About 3-second gap between Farlow and Axum now. Here they come across the start-finish line. Wes Holland clicking over. 39 laps to go in the race here tonight. That gap between Holland with the help of Hughes is slowing them up just a little bit. And here comes the 3-pack of Jeff Wood, Don King, and Ray Farlow down the back straightaway. Picking up some time. They've gained about 0.2 of a second off your race leader. Not sure exactly when the 4 of West Holland last pitted. The older tires is possibly why they're gaining so much time. As they come across the start-finish line, 38 laps to go here tonight. Another 0.2 second gain. The 64 of Jeffrey Wood, who's back there in second position with the help of the 23 of Don King and the help of 72 of Ray Farlow. Pushing up. Wes Holland got a few lap cars up there with him. Looks like Billy Wise and Jason Hughes. As they're heading towards turn number 3. Take a look back in 13th position here tonight. Verilus Falcons, the car we was talking about there. We had a driver interview with. Getting pushed down pit road by our leader now. Able to get back out onto the track and keep 13th position. We had 25 cars, 23 cars field the race here tonight. Taking a look, still another 2/10. It's like every lap, 2/10 are being gained on the race leader, and I'm sure that West Holland, appreciative of the help of the 58 of Jason Hughes, who's up there on his bumper, probably trying to give him some draft help, not sure. As we look coming across the start-finish line, another 2/10 gain. So another 5 laps, folks, and we may be seeing another lead change possibly from Jeffrey Wood, Donald King, or Ray Farlow, as they are now chasing down Wes Holland for the lead. Matthew Hevener up in points here, back in 6th position, coming down the back straightaway towards turn number 3. Out there all by himself in his lonesome, right there behind Thomas Axum, about 4 seconds off, 3 to 4 seconds off behind Axum, up there in the top 5. And again, folks, once they cross the start-finish line with 35 to go, another 2/10 gained for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th position. As they are just slowly picking up the pace now, heading towards your race leader, the number 4 of Wesley Holland, coming down the back straightaway. They got him in sight. Holland just getting ready to make his way into turns 3. And look at this momentum shift. Jeff Wood, Don King, and Ray Farlow have pushed up to be able to contest the race leader. Here they come down the front stretch. Jason Hughes now falling off the pace a little bit from West Holland. Your lucky dog, the 45 up there. I think that's the 45 or the 42. That's Joseph Hodge up high there, folks. I do apologize. 45 of Joseph Hodge there side by side with Jeffrey Wood now, but here comes Jeffrey Wood. Got the momentum shift with Don King behind him. The lap car in between these two guys. Typical courtesy for the lap car to be able to go high and let the leaders by. As you're seeing him doing there, he gives birth to the 64 of Jeffrey Wood. Jason Hughes being a good sport there. And now we got some guys battling for the lead with 33 laps to go in the race here tonight. Down the back straightaway they go. Here comes Jeffrey Wood side by side with West Holland. West Holland led 14 laps of the race so far. And West Holland going to take the lower groove, and the momentum's going to lose out. But here we come out of the turn 4 into the front stretch. Don King giving some help to what he can do to the 64 of Jeff Wood, and he's going to beat him out to the start-finish line, folks. And I believe that's going to do it. Yep, 11 lead changes now with 32 to go in the race here tonight. You can see these three cars, Jeff Wood up high, Don King and Ray Farlow, been working in tandem, trying to get up to the 4 of West Holland, and they've done so, and now they're passing him down the back straightaway as the 4 does not have any help down low. You can see the 64 of Jeffrey Wood takes the move down low, and we should be looking at maybe one more pit stop, folks, here in the next 5 laps, I'd imagine, with these guys are running 28% fuel. And the 4 of West Holland on the bumper of the 64 of Jeff Wood now. Some great green flag racing going on here up front for the lead. Some side-by-side battles as Don King now wants to be able to take the lead. And he's going to edge out the 64 of Jeff Wood with the help of the 72 of Ray Farlow as they're making their way into turn number 3. Side-by-side, look at that 4-pack up front. Ray Farlow gets loose, and he goes high. Tough break there. He's going to lose it just a little bit, but he's able to come back, and that's a testament to this guy's craft, folks. That's why I call this guy the Goliath. I mean, so many things. We've seen him get in contact with a lot of cars, and he just goes plowing right through it like nothing. He's able to keep his composure and his positions at the same time, as you're seeing. Most guys who would have gotten loose on the last lap in turns 3 and 4 may have lost 4 or 5 positions, but not this guy. Testament to his racecraft and his skill to be able to keep his position there in 3rd. As they make their way into turns 3 and 4 now, Jason Hughes finally catching back up, but he is the lucky dog car to be said back there in 15th position. If a caution flag would fly, he would get the wave round. So we do have 14 cars, started with 23, 14 on the lead lap with 29 laps to go in the race here tonight. This is the Loose Lugnuts Racing Saturday Night Silver Crown Series here on YouTube. We do thank you for tuning into the All Pro Broadcast Network to be able to catch this great race action here tonight. As Jeffrey Wood now is going to edge out Donald King for the lead. And you can see just how that low groove works, as Ray Farlow would like to get up there and make it 3 wide, but decides not to avoid possible contact with the 23 of Don King. 28 laps to go in the race here tonight, heading towards turn number 1. Jeff Wood, Ray Farlow, Don King, West Holland, and Thomas Axel are your top 5 here in the race. As it's a hundredths of a second battle for the first 4 positions, but from there, from 4th to 5th, it's about a 3.5 second gap off the leader. Ray Farlow is going to go low now, and he's going to be able to take the lead. Here we go. Ray Farlow, the 72, up to the race lead now. That's going to put us at about 12 lead changes. 13, excuse me. 13 lead changes here tonight, folks, in the 63 laps that they have put down. This is a 90-lap event, and we got 27 laps to go in the race here tonight. Been a good battle up for the front 4 for the last 10 laps now. As far as the rest of the guys, you take a look back. Thomas Axel. All right, looks like we got some guys going down pit road. Let's go ahead and take a look down there. Like John Hendricks down pit road. See the 63 Hellman's mayonnaise machine coming off of pit road. Jeffrey Catches. Guys trying to get their pit windows open. It looks like Ray Farlow signals he's going to the pit road. He's in the back straightaway. He might be out of fuel. Ray Farlow coasting it. He's out of fuel, folks. Coasting it into turns 3 and 4. Oh my gosh, tough break there for Ray Farlow. Look at that car. It's losing steam. Will he have enough to make it to pit road? Ray Farlow pushing it to the limits. He's got to wiggle it. Give it some wiggle room. Somebody help the 72. Get the crew out there to push that car into the pits, and he's going to pull it off into the grass, folks. Oh, he's not going to be able to make it. He's going to have to be towed to pit lane. Tough break for the 72 of Ray Farlow, which leaves the number 4 of West Holland out there still running as your race leader now. Started 8th position here tonight, back up to 1st position. With West Holland assuming the position, we're assuming the 1st place position, as he's going to head down pit road now. We've had 15 lead changes here in this race here this evening. We got 25 to go. West Holland making his way up towards his pit box. Here he goes into his pit box. The front of that machine come up. He's going to get some repair work done to it. Get 2 tires on, 2 tires off. Crew's going to run to the back, jack up the back of the car. Get his 4 tire swap out. Fresh new tires for the number 4, West Holland. There he goes, making his way out of his pit box, back on the pit road, ready to get back to the race. Got 24 laps to go in the race here this evening. Bob Wells, deemed to be in 2nd, is making his way off of pit road. That 38 machine, there he comes. Race control, we're jarbling things up just a little bit. So while we wait for everything to get resituated, folks, and everything to go around, we got 10 cars on the lead lap. We're going to move to another short commercial break. When we come back, we'll have, hopefully, the conclusion of this race. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it at a 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Welcome back to Michigan, ladies and gentlemen. 21 laps to go in the race here tonight. And it's Jeff Wood up in front, followed by Don King, Wes Holland, Thomas Axum, and Bob Wells. The top 5 with the race remaining here tonight. 16 lead changes are the stats with the 69 laps put down so far. This is a 90-lap race here in Michigan. It's the Loose Lugnuts Saturday Night Silver Crown Race League here on YouTube and the All Pro Broadcast Network. We thank you for tuning in out there. So far, again, folks, coming back, talking about the points coming into the race here tonight. Matthew Hevener in the 99 car was your race or points leader coming into tonight's race. Jeff Wood and Jeff Kochis were right there behind him. And taking a look at where they're sitting here tonight, Hevener is back there in 7th position. Kochis right there behind him. And Jeff Wood, who is 2nd in points, is your race leader with 20 laps to go in the race here tonight. Got about a 3-second gap between him and Donald King, who's in second. And then it's a 4-second gap, and it climbs by 3 to 5 after every position. Takes some while to get back up there, but Donald King is picking up some pace. Gaining some ground there on the 64. Making his way in towards turn number 3. And Jeff Wood making his way down pit road now for his final pit stop of the night. Let's see what this car does. Don King spinning out on pit road. Oh, tough break there. See how that'll affect the 23 of Donald King as he spun out. Is now able to get back around into his pit box. Jeff Wood off of pit road for the final time here tonight. 18 laps to go in the race. Jeff Wood up to the lead. Bob Wells being credited with the lead now. With 17 to go in the race here tonight. Final set of pit stops should have been made by now. We should be looking at possibly the final positioning. The 99 of Matthew Hevener up into the top 5. Your points leader coming into tonight's race, really wanting to go for that championship. Ray Farlow's ahead of him. Ray Farlow running out of fuel about 7 laps ago. Ran out of fuel and had to be towed to the pits, but he's in the lucky dog position, as you can see right there behind, I believe, 89, Tim Campbell. Bob Wells still your race leader. 15 to go. It'll be 14 this time when he crosses the start-finish line as he's making his way in the back straightaway towards turn number 3. Wes Holland in second. And making his way down pit road now. Here comes the number 4 of West Holland, finally getting into the pits. 14 laps to go. That's going to put him way back. Not sure exactly what the best pit strategy would have been for these guys, but the later you stay out, the worse it's going to be for you to get back up towards the lead. We'll have to see how this affects the number 4 car of West Holland, as he's currently dropping to the top 5. In and out he goes, just taking some fuel. No tires for the number 4. Guys are running a 28% fuel load on these cars here tonight. They look at about 75 laps with a full tank. You can see they've had about 3, close to 4 pit stops here tonight. Bob Wells just up there in front. Got about 10-second gap between him and Tim Campbell, who's back there in second. A 4-second gap off of Campbell and Hevener now. Hevener, your series points leader, in third in that 99 car. And he's making his way down the back straightaway towards turn number 3. Jeff Wood, who's in second. Look at this, folks. Taking a look at the standings where they're at right now. Matthew Hevener's in third. Jeffrey Woods in fourth. And Jeffrey Kochis is in fifth. These are your top 3 in points. Amazingly, running in that exact order, 3, 4, and 5, here with 12 laps to go in the race here tonight. Will Bob Wells be able to hang on? He's got 12 more laps to go. It's going to be 11 when he crosses the start-finish line. Then in turns 3 and 4. Coming out of 4 down the front stretch now. We'll have 11 laps to go to see if the 38 can claim victory here in Michigan. 11 cars are on the lead lap out of the 23 that fielded here tonight. We've got about 5 to 6 cars a lap down, starting with Ray Farlow, Jeffrey Kochis now. Jeffrey Kochis going into the pits. So where we talked about they were running Heavener, Wood, and Kochis. Kochis goes into the pits a little bit late, has now gone a lap down. That's going to be interesting to see how that'll play out, as he has 11 laps to try to get back on the lead lap pending no cautions. We do have a caution. I'm not even sure he'll get the wave round. It all comes down to race control making that decision, as Ray Farlow has been the lucky dog position for the last 10 laps when he ran out of gas. 10 to 15 laps ago, he ran out of gas, making his final pit stop here tonight. Had to be towed into the pits. Bob Wells got an 8-second gap now on the 89 of Tim Campbell, making his way towards turn number 3. Mobile One Racing, number 38 of Bob Wells, uncontested as he comes out of turn 4 down the front stretch. 8-second gap. And Tim Campbell's going towards the pits now. It's all about racing 89 of Tim Campbell. Looked like he wanted to go, and yes he is. He's down pit road for the final time here tonight. So this is interesting, folks, that Bob Wells has one final pit stop to make, which I'm not sure he's been to pit road in a while. If he has the pit stop to make, that's going to put your series points leader and first and second guys up in first and second position with about 8 to go. Let's see what the 38 at Mobile One Racing Machine of Bob Wells does this time around. Heading towards turn 4. Looks to be staying high, so he's not going down pit road. This is interesting. 8 laps to go in the race here tonight. Bob Wells, Matthew Heavener, Jeffrey Wood, Tim Campbell, and Thomas Axum are your top 5. Watching that 38 machine to see when he might be going down pit road for the final time. Is he going to pull a Ray Farlow and run out of gas, just trying to push it and give it to its limits? Everybody making their pit stops. He's got about a 16-second gap between him and Jeffrey Wood, who's in second. Heavener making his final pit stop. Back out on the track. Seven to go in the race here tonight. See the 006, or excuse me, the 45. Out Joseph Hodge. He's 5 laps down, going past the 38 of Bob Wells. There'll be 6 to go this time for the 38 as he crosses the start-finish line. Still has a 15-second gap. Can he hold on for 6 more laps? Bob Wells, your race leader. Making his way down the back straightaway. Look at the move from the 63 of Jeffrey Kochis going low into turns 1 and 2 as he passes a few cars. And we got some cars heading down pit road. Like the 72 Ray Farlow making his way down pit road, which will actually pull his lucky dog position if a caution flag would fly here tonight. See what the 72 DKR Customs of Ray Farlow does here one final time in his pit box. going to be a splash and go. Really take tires. Looks like it's all fuel for the 72, making his way off of pit road and nearly coming in contact with Jason Hughes, excuse me, as the 58 makes his way, get some fuel down pit road. And now Bob Wells finally pits with 4 laps to go in the race here tonight. Once he crosses the start-finish line through the pits, 4 laps remain, and the 38 Mobil 1 of Bob Wells says, I don't have enough fuel. Into the pits he goes for one final pit stop. And it looks like Thomas Axum's going to capitalize on it here, folks. He's going to go up to your race lead with the 99 of Matthew Hevener in second. Battling really hard. Let's see what happens here in these last few laps. Crunch time from the 99. "13 of Axum makes his way around that Goodwrench service car coming across the start-finish line. He's going to make it 3 laps to go in the race here tonight, as race control will update him as the race leader. Hevener in second. Bob Wells will follow third. Don King in fourth, and Jeffrey Wood will round out your top 5. And look at that, 13 go. And Hevener having some problems in turn 2. Did he run out of fuel? Oh, he's down the back straightaway inside the apron line. That 99 snap-on of Hevener. He's trying to wiggle it. I think he's run out of fuel, folks, and that may call it quits. This has just gotten interesting with 3 laps to go here tonight. Your series points leader, Matthew Hevener, has run out of fuel on the back straightaway. 2 laps to go now. How will this affect the points? Jeff Wood. Taking a look at Jeff Wood, he's back there in 6th position. Bob Wells was up there in points, in 4th place in points coming into tonight. He's back there in 7th. Thomas Axum. Doesn't look like Thomas Axum will be battling for the championship here tonight. He just wants to claim victory here in Michigan. As he's coming out of turn 4, it's going to be the white flag for the 13 this time around. Here comes Thomas Axum. White flag flies. Final lap of this 90-lap race here tonight. Thomas Axum, Donald King, Nick Reynolds making his way back up to the top 4. Wes Holland in your top 5. Bob Wells, excuse me, will round out your top 5. This will be interesting to see how this plays out, folks. Here he comes down the back straightaway towards turn number 3. Thomas Axum in that Goodwrench service machine. Uncontested. If he can make it up through one more curve in a front stretch, victory will be his tonight. Here he comes out of turn 4. The checker flag flies, and the 13 of Thomas Axum will claim victory here tonight in Michigan. Don King making his way, and will take 2nd. Nick Reynolds in 3rd. Wes Holland will have 4th. Bob Wells will round out your top 5 here tonight. Well, we are getting things fixed up here and getting the points readjusted. We are going to move to a short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll have your top 3 for interviews in just a moment. We'll be back. Welcome back to Michigan, folks. And what a race it was concluding here tonight. Thank you for tuning in to the All-Pro Broadcast Network. Thomas Axum in that 13 machine claims victory, followed by Donald King, Nick Reynolds in your top three. And still waiting on the points. Not going to be able to get an update on points as far as who's taking the series. We apologize on that, but let's go ahead and move to our drivers here. In third place here tonight, Nick Reynolds. This guy started up front on the pole here tonight, and he's able to make his way back up to the podium finish. That is the 54 bad boy, Nick Reynolds. Nick, tell us a little bit about the race. I mean, you fell back just a little bit, but you climbed your way back up into third. There was a lot of beating around it, but I tell you what, some of the most impressive moves I've seen in these Silver Crowns, just flying through that field, weaving around the cars. Tell us about the car setup here tonight.
Oh, the setup was good. The car drove really well. I thought I shot myself in the foot in that first green flag pit stop. I got caught speeding on pit road, and I thought I was done.
You're able to make it back up into third here tonight. Now we're looking at the points. You're trying to wait for race control to get the points validated here to see who actually is going to finish. No, you weren't quite up there in points, but overall in this Michigan race, is there any drivers you were looking out for here tonight?
Thomas, as always. Of course, Don King and, a lot of the loose Lugnut boys are always fast here. I like to thank Alan Madden over the top paint designs for this paint scheme he threw on here. But it was a fun race, though, Dustin. I know you had a blast calling the beginning of this race, man. We were stacked up too wide for, I guess, the first 12 spots.
Yeah, it was a good battle up there. I mean, everybody was side by side making their way around, and as they came around the track, to see that the battles were there. Everybody came to race here tonight and just definitely put on a good show. So congratulations to you, Nick, being able to get back up and finish in third position. Is there any final shout-outs you'd like to give here tonight?
I'd like to thank John for putting on a good league. You always do a great job announcing. I enjoy going back and watching them after the race. I wish I could watch them live, but I'd rather be out here on the track racing.
Yeah, definitely would like to be behind that steering wheel versus behind the screen. So congratulations again, Nick, and we look forward to seeing some more racing out of you in the 54 machine.
Oh, you will. Thank you, Caldwell.
There you have it, the 54 of Nick Reynolds in that U.S. Air Force fighter jet paint scheme he's got on that car here tonight. Going up into second position here, always a pleasure to be able to talk to this guy. Got to talk to him last night in the Street Stock Series. His goal, folks, always to be in the top five, and I tell you what, Don, you set your bar at the top five, and you always seem to exceed it here, especially finishing second tonight in Michigan.
Thank you, sir. Had a pretty good run tonight.
Yeah, definitely. The car looked really good. You battled hard through the field. Any notable points in this race you'd like to share?
Just a big shout out to all the drivers out there, man. There was a ton of respect shown out there tonight. It made for some great racing. You saw it yourself up there. It was too wide almost the entire race. There was pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So you do finish second here tonight. Not necessarily challenging the championship for points, but some great racing out of the 23 All-Pro machine here tonight. Any final shout-outs you'd like to give?
Oh, absolutely. As always, John Hedrick there at Loose Lugnuts and Over the Top Paints, him and his whole crew for everything they do, putting on all these races and stuff. And, of course, you up there in the booth, Digital Forge Broadcasting, and, as always, All Pro Racing and Michelangelo's Painting.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations finishing second here tonight, and we'll catch you around, Don.
Thank you, sir.
All right, folks. Well, this guy coming through the field tonight started fourth and is able to claim victory through all the controversy that he had, getting involved in a couple of cautions. And Thomas, I tell you what, Good Wrench has got to be proud to see their number 13 car make it to victory lane here in Michigan.
No doubt. It was just an amazing race. Real happy that strategy worked out, but came close with the gas.
Yeah, it was some good battling out. Tell us, after you spun out with that first or the second caution of the race tonight, what was your strategy? What was going on between you and your crew chief to get you back up towards the front?
Well, my buddy, I was talking to him on the phone because he lagged out of the race, so he couldn't come back in. So we just had to work together on the phone, and My plan was to just stay back and hopefully there's going to be another wreck, and there wasn't, so I just had to pick my way through the field. And when we had our first green flag pit stop, that went pretty good, and I was in the middle of the pack, and I just started picking them off, and they ran out of gas.
Well, and through it, as they ran out of gas, you capitalized through the positioning, able to get yourself back up in towards the lead. I think tonight here you were credited with 16 laps led in the race, matching the 54 of Nick Reynolds for 16 laps and Wesley Holland. So that these three guys led the most laps in the race here tonight. And so we want to say thanks, for the great racing you put on here tonight. Any final shout-outs you'd like to give?
You guys up in the booth, it's always really good broadcast to watch and a lot of fun. Loose Lugnuts, Over the Top Paints, my teammate Ryan, and 1372 Racing.
All right, well, congratulations again to victory. We look forward to seeing more of the 13 in the future.
Thank you.
All right, folks, well, we do have some points in here tonight, folks. As we're taking a look, it looks like it's going to be a narrow margin. I believe Jeff Wood's going to edge out Heavener in points. And yes, he does. So it'll be Jeff Wood, Matthew Heavener, and Bob Wells will be your top three in points here tonight. See if we could get Bob Wells for you. Doesn't look like he stuck around. He got out of there. Not too happy probably with where he finishes here tonight. Bob Wells will finish in the top 5 as he did lead some laps. He led 14 laps of the race here this evening. So not able to get a comment from Bob Wells, but we will go ahead and go to second place. And it was a narrow battle between him and Jeff Wood, and Jeff Wood's going to escape with 1 point. So tell us, Matt, coming into tonight, we looked where you were standing, and it looks like, I think, with 4 laps to go, you ran out of fuel on the backstretch.
Yeah. I looked at that fuel and I thought it said 15. It must have said 13 gallons when I decided I was going to go for it.
Fortunately, you're going to come up a little bit shy of finishing 17th here tonight. And it was just enough for Jeffrey Wood to be able to take victory in this series. Tell us, your expectations coming to tonight, knowing that you had the lead in points. What was the car setup like and your strategy as far as trying to beat out the rest of the guys?
Hey, the car was great, man. It was pretty hard to wreck that thing. You really had to mess up, and had no strategy really there till the end. I just last minute decided to go for it on fuel, and like I said, I think I thought that thing said 15 gallons and it said 13, and a little short.
Tough break there, but you do finish second in the series points. Did really good job racing here tonight. Started 12th. Even though you finished 17th, you were up there towards the lead and the end. So, excellent job done here tonight. Any shout-outs you'd like to give here for your series finish?
I just want to thank Loose Lugnuts and you guys for hosting and for doing the announcing and everything. You guys do a great job.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations in your second place finish in the Saturday Night Silver Crown Series. All right, folks. Well, we are going to go to your series winner, narrowly winning by 1 point margin. Jeff Wood coming into tonight, folks. As we looked at the race, Jeff Wood was up there towards the grid. As they get you the exact position, Jeff Wood started 7th on the grid tonight. Will finish 1 lap down in 13th position, but that is enough to get him to the series victory. And tell us, Jeff, coming into tonight, knowing you were chasing down Heavener second in points, what was your strategy looking at as far as taking on Michigan?
Well, if my pit strategy would have been smarter, I would have loved to win it. But there towards the end, I had people saying where Heavener was, where he was, and I was 2 laps short. And then I heard he ran out of gas on the backstretch, and I just said, you know what, I'll go a lap down and finish ahead of him.
And you're able to finish ahead of him and take the series points, so excellent job done there. Any shout-outs you'd like to give or comments you'd like to make on your victory here in the Saturday Night Silver Crown Series?
Yeah, as always, I mean, thanks to y'all at All Pro, Dustin, Michael. great job. I mean, it was a hell of a race. John Hedrick, Mr. Loose Lugnuts, great league, great paints. Congrats to the top three, Bob Wells, Matt, and a special shout out here to Christopher Michael Mattis. He had a baby girl yesterday, so congrats to him.
Send our congrats and congratulations on the baby girl there to Mattis team as they extend their driver team by one. So, all right, and as you gave your shout-outs here, what's next for the Saturday nights? Are we going to see any more Silver Crown Series, or what do you guys got planned?
Oh, me and John will confer on that, but, I mean, you're definitely going to see some Silver Crown. We love them here, put on a good show. We're opening up the third division early Fridays, get some of our younger drivers, some seat time, many different cars, many different tracks. Typically we call it the Wheelman Series, but it should be fun. Regular street stock racing on Friday nights though.
All right, well we look forward to that, and if people are interested and get more action on Facebook by looking up Loose Lugnuts Racing, but if you are an iRacing driver and want to know more about them, just look up Loose Lugnuts Racing League in the directory. We thank you much for your time, and congratulations again, Jeff, for your victory in the Saturday Night Silver Crown Series.
Thank you.
There you have it, folks. Jeff Wood taking home the gold in the series, the Saturday Night Silver Crown Series. As we take one final look at the results before we sign off here tonight, it was Thomas Axum taking victory here in Michigan, followed by Donald King, Nick Reynolds, Wes Holland, and Bob Wells rounding out your top 5. Looking down towards the top 10, Jason Hughes, Robert Mattis, Tim Campbell, Jeffrey Conscious, and Billy Wise round out your top 10. Other drivers throughout the field, we see Ralph Wheeler, Alan Matting, Jeffrey Wood, Ray Farlow. Tough break for that car in the 72 as he's going to fall back and finish 14th. Doug Turner, Fearless Falcons, after getting shoved down pit lane, will finish out 16th position. Matthew Hevener will be finishing 17th here as he ran out of fuel with 4 to go. John Hedrick, Joseph Hodge, and Doug Van Wyman will be finishing 20th. Travis Zudema, Maurice Johnson, and Ryan Kuhn will be rounding out the field here tonight. Final statistics for you out of this 90-lap race. We had 18 lead changes for 2 cautions in this race, and it was definitely some great side-by-side action for the first half of this race up in the top 10 position. So, pleasure to be able to call this for the Loose Lugnuts Racing League, but that's going to do it for us here on the All-Pro Broadcast Network. I'm Dustin Caldwell, and on cameras is Michael D'Amico. Until next time, we thank you for tuning into YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you'll stay in the know as to when races go up. But we will see you, and that'll do it for us here tonight.
Two wheels in the open road. Got the throttle wide open. Feel my pace. Got 100 horses between my legs. No destination, no end in sight. Just me in the open road, riding into the moonlight. On my 2 wheels, all that I need is white lines and gasoline. Life in the fast lane, it's easy to maintain. Just twist the throttle on back and feel no pain. From the open highways, backwoods of the country, where live free or die is the only way. On my 2 wheels, all that I need is white lines and gasoline. open road, life and death in my own hands. I am my own justice, I am my own man. I never look behind through all that I have seen. 'Cause all I need is white lines of gasoline, white lines of gasoline, white lines of gasoline, white lines of gasoline. We believe in the American way, and we built this country called the USA, and we fly our flag 'cause we're proud and free, we're Americans. Red, white, and blue is our way of life. We never back down from a challenge or a fight. Nature provides, God gives the rights, we're Americans. We make up America, this amazing America. And we hunt the lands.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it at a 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.